My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over, which means our summer break is over and we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's that time. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And yes, we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. A little humid, but a little sticky, but glorious. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Monday, July 10, 2023, and I'm not alone.
Darling.
Jenny is here at the news desk.
I am present.
Yes.
This moment.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, we are live. We were off last week. Everybody here was off last week. It was reruns and best ofs, but
vacation time.
But we are back. So yes, our summer break is short. We just we took the 1 week off, and it's good to be back because there's always plenty to talk about.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I can't imagine what. Not.
Always plenty. By the way,
too much bad.
Yes. We have somebody maybe coming in later, so we won't mention who in case they don't make it. We'll see what happens. But we do have something very special that is definitely happening at the top of the hour today at 5 p.m. We have a world radio premiere. Our friend Jerry Robinson. He's got a band called Jerry and the Scumbags, and the bass player in the band is named Matzo Covington.
Yes. Yes.
Something familiar about that name.
That one's kind of sexy.
But yes, Jerry's band and his hit single, I'm the Man.
Sexy Man.
Yeah. What? Who? Him?
You.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, obviously.
Matzo, the bassist.
Yes. Matzo Covington or Covington. But that will be coming up today at 5 p.m. And I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to, the song's already available via social media, but I'm really looking forward to playing it on the air today on the program. The world radio premiere. It's so great. Jerry Robinson, what a talented man.
Very much so.
Accomplished songwriter and recording artist and vocalist and also too, I mean, I have to say, he's the next Howard Stern. He's the next rated R comedy star, if you ask me.
The new channel with the band on YouTube is just chock full of goodness.
Yes,
I can't wait to see what gets put up on their YouTube channel again.
I know it's
exciting.
It is exciting. It's very exciting. So we're excited to bring that to you today.
Never know what old Jerry's up to.
That's right. That's right. But phone lines are open, 603-250-6007, if you'd like to join us today on the program, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. By the way, I should mention, too, the song that we played to open the show today, track from the Trichomes, who are going to be here with us live tomorrow in the second hour in studio for a live performance.
Yes, I'm super excited for this.
The Trichomes, yes.
Yep.
They are, I believe they're from the Seacoast area.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. They're definitely doing some touring around. I found some shows with them coming up. And they are touring with a band called the Hot Chockies.
Ah.
They're doing a show with them.
Okay.
I just love the name, so I looked them up, and it's actually a really great band. So I've invited them to come in, too. We should be seeing them down in the future. Down in the future.
Down in the future.
Terrible.
That's a new expression
English.
I'm not familiar with.
But you have Grim coming, who's going to be Skyping in on Wednesday of this week.
Yes. He's from Texas?
Yes.
He sent us things, too. He sent us a shirt that I'm going to wear on a very nice shirt that I'll wear on
he gave me a shirt,
Wednesday
too.
or Thursday?
Wednesday.
And
he gave me a shirt, too.
Yes.
And stickers, so there will be a sticker to apply to the wall.
Yes.
The wall of honor.
Yes.
And then on Friday, you have Satellite Union Skyping in from Chicago.
My friend
Really
Dave.
great.
My friend Dave Wally.
Yes.
Went to high school with Dave.
Really great
Yeah,
sound.
yeah,
so
yeah.
looking forward to. So yes, we got a few different places coming in this week. I can't speak. I've completely lost it right there in that. moment. Yeah, I did. So we have Chicago and Texas, and of course the great state of New Hampshire.
Oh, and we have a call. We'll see who's on the line here. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line?
Hello, Matt. So this is Jerry Robinson.
Oh,
yay!
Jerry Robinson.
Jerry
We were just talking about you. We're gonna be world radio premiere today at 5 p.m. Eastern time of your new hit single, and we're very excited about it.
Very.
I am also just super excited that the entire world can hear exactly what you and Billy and Eric Hatcher have been up to lately.
Yes. Yes, we're all excited to be a part of it. And by the way, I'm glad that technician that I dispatched was able to help you.
Oh yes, you when you dispatched that technician to me, I thought this is just the best possible customer service ever.
Yes.
So he got me set up. Soon I'm going to have a page where all of the future, well, of course, the song that I just released, but I almost said Unleashed. I don't want you to sue me for definition of character. But it's going to be available where everybody can download the music for free because, well, quite frankly, music makes the world go round, and I want everybody to have access to this beautiful music.
Yes,
It's
yes.
the bestest. I love it. Where do your creative juices come from, Jerry?
It just all comes to me. You know, I'm like 84 years old. I have tons of energy. I sit around all day. Not in my apartment, of course. I do work and actually do stuff.
Yeah.
But I just sit around and think, you know what? What better way to create a song than be about me?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
I'm the man.
Makes sense.
Of course, exactly. I'm the man. And I have some really cool stuff coming up with that song as well. Basically, I'm paying somebody to do a animation video for it. So it'll be kind of like a little, look into, I guess, who is the face of Jerry. Of
That's
course.
awesome.
And you get the really cool little visual with that. So I'm paying dozens and dozens of dollars to get that done.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, but it's so worth it. It'll be a masterpiece. Absolutely, it'll be a masterpiece.
And I'm so excited, and I'm going to formally announce the name of the album that we're all working on. I know that you're sending me your files, Matt. But
yes.
The name of the album, Jerry and the Scumbags. It will be called Scum of the Earth.
Wow, I love it, and I love how you say it too.
I like that. It rings really good.
I mean, Scumbags, Scum of the Earth. I mean, sometimes just brilliance finds me, which is why I'm the man.
You are the man, Jerry. And by the way, you look great for 84. And although
I would have never guessed it.
Although I will say, I don't think the expression is definition of character. Do you have a speech impediment by any chance, sir?
Yeah, sometimes I do have a speech impairment or impediment, or,
right,
or however it is that it's said. But
yes.
All in all, I mean, it's okay. I still get around. You can still kind of somewhat understand the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Yes, which is very important. Very important.
And let's make sure.
Exactly. So.
Nope.
I'm sorry?
You go right ahead, Jerry.
I apologize, Jenny. I can't hear you very well. I'm very old.
You go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes, go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you very much. I just wanted to say I cannot wait for 5 p.m.
Yes.
I can't wait for the album to be finished. It's going to be great. Everybody, you, of course, WMNH's very own Matzo Covington, well, I can't say what his formal title is, but Billy Painter and Eric Hatcher, of course.
Yes.
But it's going to be great. Jenny, I'm glad you're back from D.C. Everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Can't wait until 5 p.m. All the best, Jerry.
All right, bye, Jerry.
Oh, absolutely. Just applause.
Well, very nice. Yes, he is incredible. He is incredible.
We need applause. Yes, and you can look up on YouTube, Jerry and the Scumbags. Now it's the and symbol, so it's Jerry and the Scumbags. And you can hear the newest release on there as well, because I know you're going to want to hear it again after we play it.
Yes. And by the way, not to brag, but we should remind everybody that he did make me the commander to Supreme Leader in Jerry's Rock and Roll Army, which is very exciting, too. You know, I never saw myself as a military man, but to be the commander to the Supreme Leader, I mean, that's something special.
I'm kind of holding out some hope that maybe I'll get to be the T-shirt girl.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
Throwing that out there.
Yes. Yeah. Very exciting. Wow, what a way to start out the new week here.
I feel so honored.
As we return from our break. If you would like to join us, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. We should say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat, and then we're going to get caught up with what Jenny was doing. Our friend Jerry Robinson did allude to it. Jenny's recent trip to Washington, D.C.
Sent me back.
Yes. So we'll talk about all of that in a moment. But we'll say hello to everybody in the chat here. We have Ryan LeMay joins us and says, "What's up, Mr. Connarton?" Hello, Ryan. Ryan is a very talented musician. I'd love to get him on the show. Fredo, of course, is in the, speaking of talented musicians, I like to say his full name, of course. Alfredo Enrique Benavides joins us in the chat, of course, from the bands Dank Sinatra and Cosmic Blossom, and sometimes he does a solo thing like at the Chasking. Fredo said, I saw his post about this earlier. Fredo said, let's talk about how over half the country can't read above a 6th grade level. That's a real statistic. And how Trump is these people's champion. After all, he loves the poorly educated. Well, yeah, I don't know if we'll get to that today necessarily, but it's certainly a worthy subject. We could get to it. Hello to our friend Crystal from the great state of Illinois. Crystal says, this is referring to the other song that I played, Randy Rainbow, Donald's in the John with Boxes, a little Beatles parody there. Crystal says, Donald in the John with Boxes, you know those classified documents make for interesting reading material while he does his biz. Oh, I hate to even think of it for more than one reason. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry joins us in the chat room and says, welcome back. Queen City Cabinetry, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH, of course, in the historic Sunbeam Mall, but also Mike is one of our co-hosts on Friday nights for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C.
I love that show.
Yes. I do enjoy my Fridays here because after this show, I get to come back for 8 to 11 to be one of Paul's co-hosts on that show, along with Mike and, of course, DJ Steve. So we have a great time.
Because you're the bestest shock jock, yeah.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm no Jerry Robinson. He's the best.
Well, no, he's not a shock
he's
jock.
The man.
He's the radio man.
He's the next Howard Stern. He's the next rated R comedy star.
Okay, you can be his number one, right?
Well, I'll be the commander to the Supreme Shock Jock or something.
Does that make you number 2?
We don't really use that term shock jock anymore. It's a bit antiquated. Yeah, like the youngins listening are probably like, what was shock jock? What is that? But you know, and
so
listen, I got a little bit. I've got a little bit of that in me, but I think I've done a good job over the years. I learned the hard way early on here at WMNH, but I think I reined that in pretty well.
I'm all done. I snort laugh.
I've got it under control. Crystal also said in the chat, hopefully DOJ hosed them down with Lysol or Clorox spray to kill 99% of any germs.
One can hope.
Texas Mike joins us in the chat room and says, so glad you guys are back. Thank you. It's good to be back. Kyle Clayton of The Morning Show with Peter White joins us and says, I missed your dulcet tones. It was nice to hear you on The Morning Show today, Kyle. Of course.
Yes.
The Morning Show with Peter White weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. here at WMNH with a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. right before this program. Dylan Reynolds, another very talented musician, joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, glad y'all are back. Thank you. We've got Dylan's going to be a guest on the show soon, I think, right? Is it this month or next month? He's going to be coming up?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to look it up. I was just referring to we do have him booked I do believe in the near future. Yes. We look forward to that.
Booking groups all day. My brain is a little bit scrambled on who's booked for when.
Yes, for those who don't know, Jenny does all the booking, and she does a fantastic job. Chris,
no, I don't. I'm terrible.
No.
Yeah.
Chris Rose from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts says good afternoon. Hello, Chris. Jay Fed, of course. Also, Melanie La Liberty, both from the great state of Vermont, say hello in the chat room. And DJ Steve says good afternoon to all. Speaking of Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. There's DJ Steve in the chat room. So hello to all of you. So nice to see you in there. And I'll give the studio line again, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Jenny, what you been up to?
Nothing. A lot, actually.
Yeah, you haven't been on the show since your most recent trip. Yeah, the second trip.
The most recent trip. No, I haven't. And I did, and it was amazing. So as our listeners know, I have been very open about what happens with my medical care, especially at the hands of United Healthcare, Medicare Disadvantage, and the roadblocks and ridiculous requests and things you have to do just to get treatment. And in doing so, you listeners may remember that People's Action and Rights and Democracy New Hampshire took my story public, and we had over 4,000 signatures. The president of People's Action wrote directly to the CEO of United Healthcare. There was a lot of attention, and United Healthcare in turn didn't like that attention and actually started talking to me and reluctantly approving things. It took a bit of pushing with them, and I'll get to a more important point about that later. But one of the first things we got was a prior authorization for my infusion therapy, which we considered to be a humongous win for us. So People's Action brought me back to D.C. because they were hosting their annual gathering convention, which they haven't had one in a while, because of course COVID, nobody had anything like that. So this was a big deal. Their first real big convention back after COVID. And let me tell you, when they say big, they mean it. Mm-hmm. There's about 40 organizations that are under the umbrella of People's Action. And the gist of the organization in this convention is to convey stories and convey methods of being able to be organized and work with both local governments as well as federal governments. So in part, I was there to share the story of the work that we had done and what we have achieved, like getting the lymphedema compression pump, which, if you don't remember, that was a feat in and of itself. My doctor said it's the first time he's ever had a patient actually get one.
Yeah.
Because of what the insurances do with their crappy prior authorizations on top of prior authorizations to get you approved for things. So in part, I was out there to convey that message, but also to talk about what we do here all the time, which is about, talking to each other about what's going on, but being able to listen to each other from wherever we're at, like whatever my perspective is, whatever your perspective is. One thing about the show has always been able to, meet people where they're at and have that conversation. Yeah. So it was really great and amazing to be a part of that. But that's not all. I took a lot of rest times in my hotel room. I did not attend like a lot of the social things. I had to really strategically plan out my body time because my body's pretty beat up in this moment. In that I'm very much in need of an infusion. That said, they had rented a wheelchair for me, and they had 20 buses lined up for us on the last day of our convention, in which we converged on multiple places in Washington, D.C. to flash protest 20 buses, 900 or so of my closest friends. And even the bus drivers didn't know where they were going until the very last moment. Yeah. So there was no way any of the information would get out. So we targeted places like the big time lobbyists that lobby for these private insurance companies that keep us from being able to regulate them in a way.
You went to K Street.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You know that? I don't know.
K Street. That's where the lobbyists are. Yeah.
Well, they have this one big, giant, expensive building that's all the health insurance lobbyists. Yeah. The ones that have weaseled their way into our Medicare program and destroyed it. Mm-hmm. But I digress. We went to Citicorp, who is the biggest, one of the biggest contributor to global climate destruction, because they support fracking and they do a lot of, they invest a lot of money into that. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more to it. But we went we protested for healthcare. We protested for tenants' rights. We protested for the climate. We protested for the end of the drug war. There were multiple targets with these buses, and I was there for the majority of them, but then I had to peel off with my group because then we headed to the Capitol to lobby at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Which I knew we were going to do. So all of this was kind of strategically planned out. And like I said, I took a lot of rest periods in my room, and I had handlers and I had wheelchairs, so I wasn't left to myself.
Yeah.
I had a lot of good support. So when we went up to the Senate office building, we were able to meet this time. Because you remember last time I went to D.C., I was able to meet with staff from Senator Shaheen, and I was able to talk to somebody from Senator Hassan's office. This time when we went back, I was able to sit with a group of us. We had private meetings with the staff from the Senate Finance Committee, which Senator Shaheen sits on.
Yeah.
And this committee looks at not just like how our budget works, but how money things occur in the United States. So money being paid to these companies for Medicare Advantage that are now denying those same services. Well, where is those dollars going? Well, we all know that United Healthcare bragged about $8 billion in profit for the first 3 months of this year. So that's our money. Yeah, that's our premiums and everything. And instead of us getting covered for care, we get denied. So we're trying to lobby them to hear about these denials, to hear about these prior authorization rules and regulations. We also lobbied the HELP Committee, which I believe Senator Hassan sits on.
Is HELP, and HELP must be an acronym for something.
It is an acronym, and the H is health.
Okay.
So they are acronyms, but this committee is considering holding hearings, but they need to hear from more of us. All of them do, really.
Yeah.
We also lobbied Senator Markey. So we were able to really do quite a bit of lobbying and share our story. So I was there to share my story. There was another person there, a woman whose name, ironically, was Jenny. And her husband had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I believe it was pancreatic. There was a treatment available at the time. The Medicare plan I believe it was Medicare Advantage, would not approve the medication. It was like this special form of chemo that has to be prior approved. Well, for a month, they had a fight with the insurance. I finally get approval at the end of the month, but now it's too late for him to get the drug because the cancer had metastasized and he died shortly thereafter. He was only, I believe, 43 years of age and has a young child left behind, a 8-year-old child. And I'm listening to this woman tell her story. There were other people there that were talking about the profits these companies are making. And this is supposed to be a Publix, right? It's supposed to be a cheaper version of Medicare that covers everything Medicare covers. But that's not reality. Anybody who has Medicare Advantage will tell you that's not reality. Reality is denials. Reality is you need to write letters you have to write a letter in order to appeal something, you know, instead of like actually speaking to a human and doing it, or you know, they want you to go through all of these steps because they know you're sick. They know they've worn you down, and they keep the dollars.
Crystal, our friend from Illinois, said in the chat room, insurance companies should be held accountable for the unnecessary stress they put onto chronically ill patients. They know damn well stress triggers some of these diseases to flare up. They assume you'll get too sick to fight with them to advocate for yourself and health needs. Patients shouldn't have to fight with insurance companies for health care. Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the, I mean, that's really a big part of the big scam.
And that's a great segue, actually.
For-profit health insurance, they want you to die. Once what they're paying out, I mean, people, I don't know if you're just not supposed to say this in polite company, but people don't like to be as I think blunt enough about it. But let's call it what it really is, and just be very blunt and brutally honest about it. The way the business model works is they're happy to cover you for as long as you are profitable for them to cover you. So as long as your premiums are getting paid, but you're not costing too much money. once you start costing them more money than they're getting from you through the premiums, you go from being an asset to a liability. They would prefer, and this is a part that I guess you're not supposed to say, but it's true, so let's say it. They would prefer, from, going by their business model, that you die. Once you start costing them money, they would rather you die. That literally is how it works. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, people do, but let's not. They want you to die, and they will do whatever they can to get away with letting you die.
Yep.
That's the scam.
Let's add to that, too. I want to add something to this because I think people get confused about what we're talking about sometimes. I've often hear people saying, I don't want to have to pay for somebody else's care. Why should I have to pay for your care? Well, if you've got health insurance, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
The way any insurance works, the way your house insurance works, the way any insurance works is the company collects their premiums, and they expect you to be healthy, and they expect multiple people to be healthy in this pool, that those dollars, instead of going back to those individuals who paid them, goes to pay for the people who are sicker. That's how it works. When you pay your house insurance, the reason your house insurance will go up is if they have to pay too many claims in your area, they'll jack the price on you, right? You know why? They didn't make a big enough profit.
Yep.
Too much of that got paid out in claims. They had to actually do their job. Well, that's what health insurance is supposed to do, is the job, pay the bills, right? In Medicare, that's much how it works. There's I'm not saying Medicare is perfect, but it's certainly a great place to start when you talk about national health care. That the pool is, it's not so much worrying about a pool because you're not worrying about a profit anymore. Now you're just wanting the government to pay the bill. The medical decisions belong to the people and their doctors. I'm getting a little ahead of myself in saying that. But it's important to understand that no matter what insurance you're paying for, you are paying for other people. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people just don't understand that.
They think that you're somehow taking it from their wallet and putting it in people's pockets that are too lazy to work. That's not how it works. That's not how any of that works.
Yeah, Fredo in the chat room says the healthcare business model is based on profit, not caring for people, because caring for people is, quote, socialism or communism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what people will come back at you with. Yeah.
And Republicans will have you believe that if you allow the government to pay the bills, you're allowing them into your health care. How could you? You don't want the death panels, they'll say. We already have death panels, and the only way we're going to get rid of those is to get rid of these private insurance companies. They are the death panels, these insurance companies. They denied care to Jenny's husband, so he died. He could have been saved. There was an opportunity if they'd given him the medicine the moment it happened. This man could have stayed alive to see his child grow up, but that was too expensive. They didn't want to spend the money. They stalled it for 4 weeks. The cancer metastasized. We can't give you the drug anymore. He's dead. They get to keep the money they made.
They killed him.
They killed him, 100%. So coming back to where I was at, so we did it was a tremendous trip. I would do it all over again. I don't care what I'm feeling right now. It was 100% worth it. And I'll do this all day, every day, if that's what it's going to take, because that's how we're going to save lives, is to get our politicians to see the realities of living with these plans and undo the damage they created when they allowed private companies into the Medicare system to sell these ridiculous advantage plans that cost more money for patients and have horrific outcomes because they deny most everything. They really do. So when I came home, though, here I came home excited that we had done some really great work. And I came home to find out that the insurance company had sent me a prior authorization to cover my next infusion. But that wasn't the infusion. It was 2 codes that basically said you can have like an hour infusion, but it didn't include any of the necessities to actually, do the treatment. And it didn't include enough time to actually run the drug at the rate they were giving. I'd be dead. That's bottom line. I would just simply die. So it's been this mad dash because my doctor's office has been trying for like a month to get these things pre-approved. And I didn't know it. When I came home and found that out, it was devastating. I mean, just devastating, because I really needed infusion. And yeah, I about fell apart in that moment. That here's what I kept saying to everybody. I was afraid when nobody was looking, they weren't going to get out of it, or they weren't going to do things the right way. And I think that's exactly what they were trying to do in this moment.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any kind of answers. And I decided I've actually videoed my reaction to finding this out. I don't know what presence of mind I had in that moment, but I recorded it.
Yeah.
And we sat on it overnight, and I talked to you, and I wasn't sure. So we decided to publish it along with an email, and I blind copied it to a number of legislators, federal legislators in Congress, and as well as some advocates and some reporters that I knew. And I sent it to them saying, listen, look at what they're doing. They basically gave me a bogus piece of paper that was worthless. Sure, it said infusion, but it didn't say any of the rest. And, it's so, oh God, that's just cruelty. It's straight cruelty to be, all excited. I remember the woman called me up all excited. We're going to cover your next infusion. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? The excitement of it. But then to find out all of a sudden, oh no, we're not going to do that because we're not going to cover the rest of the stuff to actually allow you to have the medicine. So I was notified that I was going to basically have to still pick up the bulk of the bill.
Right.
So in doing this message, I did make the decision to send it out to some of the people I had been talking to in D.C. already. And that included staff for Senator Shaheen and Senator Hassan. Senator Hassan's office actually stepped right in. I believe it's Elsa in the Portsmouth office that took lead on it. And they sent me paperwork to give permission for them to speak for me with United Healthcare and with my doctor's office where I have my infusions, so they could speak to both. And here I am sitting here Monday. So this all happened the very tail end of last week. It was really quick. By Friday morning, Senator Hassan's office had already reached out to United Healthcare, and suddenly I've got people talking to me again. And the story changes every time they talk to me. Yeah. 1 minute, oh, it's covered. The next minute, oh, they have to submit that differently. The next minute, it's covered. The next minute, I gave them a special number that they can call. I'm not kidding you. That was today's call, too. We gave them a special number, and
they're trying to discourage you.
Exactly.
So you'll give up.
Exactly.
That's
because
what they want.
They don't want to give up any of the $8 billion in profit they made in 3 months to pay the $600 for my freaking infusion.
Yep.
It's a lousy $600. We're not breaking the bank here.
Yeah.
But for me, it's my life. Yep. I'll tell you, though, one of the most frustrating things in talking to these insurance people is a couple of them were like, oh, geez, Miss Coffey, we're so sorry for this inconvenience. And I wanted to fall on the floor in that moment. 2 of them said that to me, and I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
It's like, please don't ever say that to me again. And please don't ever say that to someone with a chronic illness who's forever sick. That's horrible. It's not an inconvenience. You didn't forget to take the dog out. Right. This is my life.
Right.
These treatments are my life. It's not a joke. It's not an inconvenience. I couldn't. It's like these people who are in charge of saying yes and no to my care don't even know the extent or the severity of what they're saying yes and no to. They have zero understanding, but yet they get to override my doctor and put up a roadblock on care.
Yep.
And that's what I came home to. But I will say, Senator Hassan's office, totally impressed. I couldn't believe how quick they acted. I got a call from somebody in the insurance yesterday, and it was a really bizarre call. I think she was trying to call Senator Hassan's office because she kept saying, Elsa, and we're from the expedited. I'm Ina from the United Healthcare expedited bills, and I needed to let Elsa know. It's like, you're looking for me to call Elsa? Like, yeah, I was really confused by the call, and I honestly think that she called the wrong person because she immediately was like, "Oh no, never mind." I'm like, "Wait a minute, expedited services. Are you going to?" She so wanted me off the phone.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to do this? So that happened.
Yeah.
And actually, the insurance woman that called today was trying to poo-poo and belittle me and trying to gaslight me by saying, well, these are things that, a patient calls in to do. This is what the provider's supposed to go and do. I said, excuse me, My provider's been trying to do this for over a month, and I'm the person whose life is at risk here.
Mm-hmm.
You're dang right I'm going to be the one to pick up the phone and call in and make sure things get done if you're not doing your job correctly.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, my doctor's office has been doing it for a month and a half, not getting anywhere. We're down to the wire now on getting infusion. So, yeah, of course I stepped in. So they have no right. They should have never said that to me in the first place.
Right.
It's absolutely inappropriate.
Absolutely.
Absolutely inappropriate to tell me that I shouldn't be calling in, that I should leave it up for the No, this is my health. This is my life.
Yeah.
You absolutely, not only should I call in, you should be very receptive in helping me fix this problem if you're truly in the market to provide health care, but you're not. You're in the market to make profits.
Oh, God, just wait till all these people are replaced by AI bots. How much worse it's going to be. Jeez.
Well, remember, one of the times that we applied to get a tier reduction on the Mestinon prescription, we did all the paperwork. We're on the phone with the lady doing the paperwork. And no sooner did she hit enter, it took over an hour to enter in all the reasons and diseases and whatnot. Yep. No sooner did she hit enter did I immediately get an email that said that was denied.
Yep.
Or no, it was a phone alert. It was a phone alert.
Yeah, yeah.
Denied. And she was like, and I'm like, wow, it said denied. She said, I was afraid that was going to happen. It was the name of the medication. So a computer did that.
Yeah.
It was the name of the medication. Nobody with medical skill whatsoever actually read the file or had a clue. Yeah. It was a computer that did it. And this is what we need hearings on. This should not be allowed to happen. They should not be allowed to batch deny us.
Right.
Or keyword deny us when it's supposed to be a medical personnel that looks at it. But then you look at these companies, they're allowed to, I saw a thing, they put up a job posting and the person said the job posting was for a denial nurse. Mm-hmm. Like that's your job, to deny things.
Yeah, of course.
It's not even the way healthcare is supposed to. This is not how this is supposed to work.
Yeah.
When I got off the plane, when I came home, though, remember I got a phone call right away, and it was because the Lever had published an article about healthcare, and that turned out to be one of the guys. Oh, forgive me. His name is losing me. Michael is from an organization. I think it's PPA. They are supporting traditional Medicare, and they 100% support seeing expanded to include everybody. Everybody get a Medicare card. You can go anywhere it's accepted. That organization is called Protect Traditional Public Medicare, and Michael Antwerp is the one that called.
Okay.
And he asked me to talk to one of the ladies who was an EMT during 9/11.
Yeah.
And apparently in New York City, the mayor and the heads of the unions are trying to force already retired first responders onto Medicare Advantage plans. They're trying to force them off of Medicare and onto Medicare Advantage to save them money. Mm-hmm. These are retired folks. This is a weird situation. These are union members who are fighting against their union heads because they're getting screwed.
Yeah.
They're getting totally screwed in this deal. These people will lose their doctors. They could lose the hospitals they've been going to. They could lose all of their providers if they're not in network. Whereas with Medicare, they can go to all of what they've got right now. So they've been fighting. They actually just won a temporary restraining order that stopped them from going forward with it. And it was right down to the wire. It was going to be the 10th that they were going to be all forced out, or they'd have to sign away some of their retirement benefits. So these guys work for this. They work for this.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you have to sign away your benefit if you want to stay on traditional Medicare, is what the force was going to be on this. So there's a lot more going on than even I could have even imagined. I had no idea that Medicare Advantage could be used as a tool that way to destroy retirees and their health care.
And by the way, Mayor Eric Adams of New York, he is a former first responder himself, so he should know better, frankly.
Well, I
mean, he was a former, I don't remember what rank he got up to. Was he the commissioner, police commissioner in New York?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
But
I'm honestly not sure.
And he's a Democrat, but he's certainly no progressive, and a lot of people are. Remember, this is off topic in terms of healthcare, but it just reminds me of This was a while ago now. This was many months ago. But do you remember Kendra, when Kendra L. Saunders, our friend, the author, and of course from Half Lucid Jewelry, you wear some of her things. She called in and was talking about how when she was still living in New York City, how the mayor had forced, they were forcing these street vendors like Kendra, who was selling her stuff in the park in New York, which was a normal thing in New York City. And all of a sudden they were forcing everybody out. And it was a directive from Mayor Adams, get these vendors out of here. It's like a very un-New York thing to do.
Yeah, and it's really weird that they would go in that direction. But then again, they do tax a lot. They do like to make their money. So there is that.
Fredo points out in the chat room, people in countries with universal health care live longer lives. That's a fact, easily proven with publicly available data. Longer lives by a delta of almost a decade. Yep, absolutely.
So there's another lady named Marianne Pizzola, and she is a former EMT from 9/11. That she's the one that's actually working on this with New York City.
Yeah.
She's got like a crew of people together that have been fighting them, and they finally won this temporary restraining order, but they still have to keep fighting just to keep what they were promised to.
It's unbelievable.
It's like, really? Why is it always first responders that get slammed with that? It's like, really? They didn't earn it, really? Because that's kind of what it feels like. It's like, oh, you didn't really earn this, so we can take it away from you.
You're appreciated for as long as it's politically viable and advantageous for someone to appreciate you.
Yeah,
if you're
you
a first
can't drive the bus
responder
anymore? Forget it.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, that's the old cold hard reality of that. They appreciate you when it's politically advantageous.
We're the only country that attaches our healthcare to working.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of this happens. Yeah. There's another event coming up in July. On the 25th, they're celebrating the anniversary of Medicare. I believe it's 50 years.
Okay.
I think it's 50 years. There's an organization called Be a Hero that Marion's involved with that group too, as well as the traditional public Medicare group. But this group called Be a Hero was started by Addie Barkins. And he's a gentleman that developed ALS. And he's made it his mission before he dies to fight for people to have the health care they deserve, to have access. Mm-hmm. But not only that, to also have good access to home care, the tools that people need to be able to stay in their homes. So it's a lot harder than people think. So this organization has actually started an event that's going to be right in the D.C. Mall, right in front of the White House. It's the 57th anniversary of traditional Medicare. Forgive me for misspeaking.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an event held there. We're expecting press and so forth. And I may or may not be there, depending on how well the next couple of treatments go. So I may be heading back to D.C. I may be speaking at this event, and we are all after the same thing. We are all after a healthcare system that makes sure that everybody has access, no matter who they are, no matter where they are. It's not attached to a price tag.
Yep. By the way,
that's what I've been up to.
Yes. Well, you're doing great work.
A lot to unpack.
Absolutely.
I'm tired.
Yeah, no doubt. But no, you're doing great stuff, and that's got to feel really good.
It's harder than I thought, in that after the last 3-day one, especially, saying the story over and over and over again. And then, of course, Trial by Fire was released on YouTube. Just Charles Maddox's documentary about CRPS.
Oh, yes.
Trial by Fire. He just put it on YouTube. So, and I watched it.
We've had him on the show.
Yes. He's an amazing guy. He did another thing on diabetes as well.
Yeah.
But he's out there fighting the good fight for healthcare as well. His mom came down with CRPS.
Okay.
And that's how he got involved.
Okay.
In with CRPS. There's also on Netflix, there is a documentary running right now. It's Take Care of Maya. And it's about a young girl who got CRPS, and her parents were doing everything the best for her. She was a patient of like two of the leading experts in the country on CRPS, Dr. Hannah and I forget the other doctors' names. They got involved in her case. Mom and Dad had brought her to the hospital for treatment because she was having a massive flare.
Mm-hmm.
The hospital decided she didn't have CRPS. They reported her for child abuse and accused the mother of having Munchausen by proxy. Now, Mom was an ICU nurse. She's very learned.
Yeah.
So she was insistent, of course, on what her daughter should have for care. They actually used that against her and used that as evidence to say that she was Munchausen by proxy. Her daughter was going into 3 months of no treatments. They kept her in a psych ward, and they said it was all in her head.
Wow.
Even Dr. Hanner and the other doctor got involved, contacted the hospital, wrote letters. Nobody would listen to them that this child was diagnosed with this rare disease and was suffering. So, I mean, it's very real in the documentary. Mom kept meticulous notes. She also kept audios. So a lot of this is on audio. You hear it all firsthand. And I'm sorry to say that Mom hung herself in the garage of the home and left quite the note because she felt it was the only way that her daughter would be getting any treatment would be if she was out of the picture, because they weren't accusing her husband. They were only accusing her.
Wow.
So after 3 months of seeing her daughter suffer from what little she could see and hear, because of course they restricted her, they accused her of everything under the sun. Yeah. And you know what? It's a real crazy thing that I had no idea about. And this documentary shows you the evidence. The hospital was billing for care of CRPS the entire time. Entire time.
While saying she didn't have it.
And taking this child from her family, making her suffer in a psych ward for 3 months.
It's bizarre.
Held in this hospital against her will, ward of the state. Yeah, and they were billing for it. They were actually getting money. And this woman died, and this family was destroyed by this hospital because they'd never seen a case, or they didn't have a clue, or they didn't want to listen. But what really it's mind-baffling, you know, here, this woman is an ICU nurse, okay? So obviously she knows more. You should understand that. But to have two of the leading experts in the country sitting there going, this child is suffering from the most painful disease known to medicine. She needs treatment.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it, too, comes back to prejudice, because in CRPS, one of the main treatments to treat a flare is a ketamine infusion. Mm-hmm. What I'm going to have tomorrow.
Yeah.
What makes it able for me to function. I understand. I can understand what it's like to go without one. Mm-hmm. I've gone as far as, how many months was it?
6.
Before being on LDN. It was, remember when the doctor's office closed up and we had to wait. Yeah. Dr. No did everything he could to get the equipment as fast as he could to get me in for a treatment, because the other office just closed up shop and left everybody without any treatments.
I remember.
I can't imagine what this family went through. They were such an amazing type family to be destroyed in this way. Yeah. And you can hear it and see it 100% firsthand, because Mom did all of these recordings and took all of these notes. This actual video, I mean, yeah. You should watch this. You should watch this. This is what happens. And again, it's private companies utilizing medicine to destroy people's lives, and basically by denying them care. Mm-hmm. They give you a prior authorization that's worth nothing because it doesn't have everything inclusive.
Right. Yeah.
It's disgusting. These companies, especially in the Medicare Advantage world, they take advantage of the sickest of the sick, the elderly, kiddos, people who have no choice, and they're disabled, and you get sucked up by this thing, and there's no way out. You can't get back to regular Medicare because nobody will sell you a supplement policy.
By the way, Crystal points out too, and then we do have to. We are approaching the top of the hour.
We are.
But Crystal points out too. This is important. She says she has a lot of good insights on the subject. She says, out of network, insurance companies will bankrupt patients with out of network denial of service. Most of my blood work taken every 3 months was sent out to labs and considered out of network. Often up to 12 vials of blood got taken each time. Yeah, that is another way they screw you.
One of the cases that People's Action picked up was a gentleman who needed to have extensive lab work, and the insurance, it was a lab that was in the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
They denied the $7,000 bill or thereabouts because the doctor who ordered the labs was not in network.
Yeah.
So People's Action got involved to fight their case as well.
Yeah.
Which, if you're hearing this and you like, I got a case and I could use help, they'll take on more.
Yeah.
They'll take on more patients. It's not easy to go public in some regards, but it can be empowering
Yep.
to at least feel like you're taking back control of some aspect of your life.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's easy to repeat your story a zillion times,
Sure.
but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
It's the only way we're going to win. It's the only way that the little guys are going to get the same access to medical care that the rich CEOs and greedy corporations get.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. So what we're going to do is, as promised. Oh, by the way, hello to Scott Robinson in the Facebook live chat who said, hello, guys. And Dylan Reynolds said, hello, Scott. Are you related to Jerry Robinson?
I think we have a guest coming in.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, we'll have a guest in the second hour. But in the meantime, here it is, the world radio premiere. We're going to listen to this.
Yes.
We're going to listen to this and then show some love to our amazing sponsors. And then we'll be back with hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed. But here's the world radio premiere. This is Jerry and the Scumbags, the brand new single, I'm the Man.
best, Jerry.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody, as we enter hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Monday, July 10, 2023. Jenny is at the news desk.
Present and accounted for.
And joining us on the couch. And of course, you, even if you did not hear her most recent appearance on the program, which has been a while, you have heard her voice on the show quite a bit. Trudy is here.
Woo! Thank you for that marvelous introduction.
That's Trudy, of course. She's the one who answers me when I say, "Tell us more, Trudy."
You look great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice to have you in.
Yeah, it feels great.
And by the way, before we catch up with Trudy, I do want to mention we did do the world radio premiere, of course, of the new hit single from Jerry and the Scumbags, "I'm the Man," and we got some feedback in the Facebook live chat. Caitlin Mitchell says, "This is so much better than a song about New Orleans." Yes, isn't it?
Yes, very much. I love Jerry.
A little inside, but yes, we do. We love Jerry Robinson.
And the Scumbags.
Ted Mitchell says, "I love that song." And
it's a hit, right?
Dylan Reynolds says, "Yeah, Louisiana town." And Caitlin Mitchell says, "Waving and waving my hand." That's a reference to, of course, playing down in New Orleans.
Oh.
The waving and waving my hand. Yes.
Okay.
Ted Mitchell says, "We love Jerry." Jerry Robinson, just incredible. Trudy, are you familiar with Jerry Robinson? He's the next Howard Stern, you know.
I am not.
Incredible. We'll have to introduce
Yes.
you.
He's just amazing.
You'll be such a quick fan.
Okay.
He's very, very talented, and sometimes he calls into the show. He called into the show earlier, and we're very impressed by him. I had to help him.
Hear his dulcet tones.
He's an older gentleman,
Okay.
so I had to help him recently with I had to get on the phone with him because he was trying to figure out how to attach a file to an email, and he was kind of struggling with it. And you would think, like, who can't figure that out? But like I said, he's an older guy. He's a nice man, but he's so enormously talented. I felt driven to assist him. So I very patiently did get on the phone with him, and I helped him, and whatever he needs, whatever Jerry needs.
He's such a go-getter. How can you say no? I mean,
that's
he's
true.
Always putting in 110% everywhere.
110,
200%.
200 maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
He's all in.
Yeah, he'll say that sometimes, but he has a speech impediment, so he doesn't understand his numbers, I guess, or
It's
something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
We love him.
Well, we love Jerry Robinson.
Jerry.
Is he from here?
No.
I'll fill you in.
Okay. All right.
We'll have chats after show.
Yeah, he is not from the area, but yes.
But
Jenny,
we do wish he was.
Yes. Perhaps, when he goes on tour, I'm sure we'll get to meet him.
Well,
I'm sure
you'll have to.
He'll come here.
If I'm a t-shirt girl and you're going to still play, you
Well,
have to go.
that's
We
true
have to go too.
That's true too. I mean, I am on the studio track as I'm
trying to get him to move here.
I'm credited as Matzo Covington.
Yes.
Yes.
He did remote basing.
Yes.
He based it away.
Which you can do now.
He's good at basting.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't cook.
Basing.
Oh, I thought you said basting.
Oh no, basing.
I was confused.
Basing.
I was like, "Whoa, you cooking?"
Like basing, like
ding,
this?
ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. The studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. And like we said, Trudy is here with us. And what have you got? What have you got coming up, Trudy? You got
what
something?
You doing?
You got big doings.
Yeah, so I volunteer with this group, Manchester Grows, and we're trying to jumpstart a what do you call those? A market for the city.
Okay.
And
Farmers market.
Farmers market. Yes, thank you. And over at Shaheen Baskill Park.
Okay.
And it's for Thursdays. We're going to be starting this week, Thursdays from 4 to 7. And I just wanted to come out, share that, because I know you have a really great audience. And usually when I come on the audience, you have great interaction. And throughout my passings throughout Manchester, I always bump into people who say, "Oh, I heard you on Matt Connarton show." So I figure this would be a great way to reach out to other members of the community who might not be aware of what we're doing down there.
So where does the term farmers market come from? Why do they call it a farmers market?
Wow, Matt, that's a really great question. I should have done my research. I don't know the origins of the word, but yeah, right?
Yeah, like all the farmers get together. It's a farmers market.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, right, like a central gathering, somewhere where people could trade their
You can always get
produce.
good nummies.
Yeah.
Oh, will there be
fresh food?
Pretzels there?
Well, we might not have pretzels this week, but we do have concession open. So we sell hamburgers, French fries, and if we have any baked goods, we get empanadas.
Ooh, I love empanadas.
Yeah, and they're fresh made.
I haven't had one in forever.
Yeah.
I can't go this Thursday, but maybe I can go next Thursday.
All right, yeah, because all for the month of July over at Shaheen Baskill, 4 to 7 p.m. And we get live music. So.
Oh, very cool. Do you know who you have coming up who's going to be playing? Do you know any of the artists?
I should have that information for you, but I do not.
That's all right.
I'm always looking.
We've had a few people that are from the area just come and play. We had a DJ one night.
Yeah.
And there was also, I believe, a lady who came and she played the acoustic guitar.
I could send you tons of people.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much great talent around here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
that's one of the reasons why we love that area as well, because they have the splash pad open and there's open green space. So you can come down with the kids or your dogs and hang out as well.
Yeah.
It's got great little vibes. You know, it's a part of the city that doesn't get as much coverage, right? Because it's not Elm Street.
Yeah.
True.
Any of the fancier parts of town. But, there's taxpayers down there, and it's just a good time to get together, hang out outside.
Yeah.
Enjoy the park, enjoy the space.
Does this happen every year, every July?
It was, but then COVID.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a hiatus, and it was taking place on that street over there. I forget, what's the name of that? At that park by the library.
Oh, yeah. I can never keep the names of the parks straight.
I know. I didn't realize how many parks we have in Manchester.
Yeah,
we do have a lot.
We do have quite a few, yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. And there's multiple gardens around the city as well that Manchester Grows helps support with plants. But yeah, there's a lot of green space around here.
I used to love going up there and helping with the plants.
Yes, and we do have volunteer hours, but I will get that more information if you'd like to swing by on a Sunday.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah,
you remember I used to go?
Plant.
Yeah. I was gonna say you did that before. Yeah, I remember
it's
that.
fun.
Yeah.
It's where I learned how to not handle peppers.
What do you mean?
They grow a lot of hot peppers, or they did when I was there.
Yeah, there was a lot of hot peppers.
I thankfully did not go blind, but these are the kind of things that you wear gloves and you wash your hands.
I don't understand. What?
If you touch your eyes or your face or anything after you've touched hot pepper plants, you can blind yourself. It's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt.
Yeah.
For real?
For
you
real.
You can like
real.
Temporarily,
That's
assume.
why I have this one plant on the porch that's completely wrapped in wire.
Yeah.
A warning system.
Yes, I have one plant out there because Jesse loves his hot peppers. So I was trying to grow some hot peppers. So that one's kind of encased to remind me to not touch it, like water from this distance.
Beware. Spicy AF.
Yeah. You could like blind yourself with the juices and stuff.
Wow. Yeah. See, this is why I don't do anything outdoorsy myself. I'm afraid, like I don't go out into the woods.
He barely sits on the porch, actually.
What's that?
You barely sit on the porch, and I got a whole garden going on out there now.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've been there.
I've been on the porch.
I've been there.
I've been on the porch. Like I can kind of remember what it looks like. But it's just there's scary things outside, like stuff that food that can make you go blind. I mean, that's terrifying to me.
Stop.
And there's deer ticks and
ticks are really bad.
The Blair Witch is out in the woods there. There's all kinds of things.
Sasquatch.
I mean, it's terrifying. I'd like to be able to just stay indoors and teleport different places.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yes.
Maybe we're getting close to there. Because we got the hovercrafts now.
Yeah.
Whatever I've seen in the news.
Yeah. So hopefully soon. Yes. Do you know how many vendors are at the?
That's another thing. We are looking for vendors. So if anybody is looking to sell, whether you paint or sew or, you just have a product you want to share with the community, feel free to come down and check it out, the space.
Yeah.
We don't charge for you to table. So right now it's just looking to get people down there and sharing and trading.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
If you make anything, maybe you like to make pottery.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be. So it doesn't have to be food.
No.
Okay.
It could be artwork, jewelry.
Yes.
Craftsmen. Sometimes people have like the wooden signs that they make, or window ornaments. I've seen people with anything from like tapestries to comforters to anything at all like that. That's all what you want to find at a farmer's market.
Yeah. And if you have produce, as long as you're within the specific guidelines, feel free. Like it's anybody, everybody, whatever you got.
That's the great thing about a farmer's market is you can trade and hawk your wares right there. And I like going because I get my honey locally, which is really good for you. I always get a local honey from one of the farmers markets here. It's good for you to eat local honey. It's got stuff in there that'll help you if you've got allergies. That's local, because you think about all the plants that they pollinate to get that honey. It's now in the honey, so it gives you some exposure to help you not get as bad with your the word just went on allergies. Thank you.
And honey, I went to a grocery store to go buy some the other day thinking, I'll just buy some local honey. But all the honey on the shelf was imported.
Really?
Yeah, and that kind of was disappointing, but I mean, I understand it.
Yeah.
Global
I'll
economy.
hook you up with my guy.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Oh,
I get
okay.
honey from him all year long. I get giant bottles. I'll get like a $30 bottle because I use it a lot. I make honey. Honey is one of the main ingredients in the bread I make in the challah bread.
Ooh.
Yep.
For that nice sweetness.
Yeah, and the protein snacks will have honey in them.
You ever
Yeah.
had those? They're like sesame biscuits. It's just sesame and honey, I believe, but they're
No.
like crisp, thin, like a wafer. Oh my God, they're
No, I have
so
not.
good. I used to get them at Market Basket, but now I don't know where I can find them. But they're really yummy with honey.
I was just reading online. I don't know if this is true though. You can't believe everything you see on the internet, but something about if you touch a hot pepper and then you touch your eyes, you should flush your eyes with honey. Do you know if that's true?
No.
For real?
That's what I read online, so I assumed it was true. You flush
I
it.
mean,
I wouldn't
No,
put
does that
anything in
sound-
your eyes.
Does that sound
No.
wrong?
I've never used honey in the emergency room. Now we've
Okay.
flushed
Maybe.
people's eyes with saline,
But maybe for
but
you
not
know,
honey.
does anybody have mace on them right now? We could try it. We just need some
Oh,
mace
no.
and some honey.
My God.
Yes, yes.
Years ago, I had a family that had to come in. One of the kiddos had somehow gotten a hold of bear spray
Oh,
and sprayed it inside. So the whole family got exposed. And they all had to come in, and everybody had to get help to clean up and flushing out eyes. And it was the poor family. I felt terrible for them.
did the kid grow up to be an insurrectionist?
I doubt it.
Oh,
I don't think so.
seemed like an
he was very
obvious-
apologetic.
Oh,
it
okay.
seemed.
Oh, well, definitely not.
I don't think he really got what he did. He was kind of young.
Right.
you know.
He
Okay.
was just like, spray, yay.
Yeah, it's all it takes, 2 seconds,
Party
and they
time.
grab something that you don't mean them to. And any parent will tell you,
Yes.
2 seconds, that's all it takes.
Yep.
Yep.
Scott Robinson said, hot peppers and pineapple on pizza is awesome.
Ooh, yes.
That sounds horrifying to
Yes,
me.
the hot and sweet does go well
Like,
together.
what kind of hot pepper, though? Is he talking jalapeno? Because I can tolerate a jalapeno. I'm not a very...
I forget what it is I'm growing. It's not as hot as a ghost pepper, but it's definitely hotter than a cayenne. I'll have to look at it.
Habanero?
I'm not sure now. I have to look at. I kept the packet so I could remember what kind of pepper it is. And in this moment, I honestly have no clue.
And because
I'll
there's a bunch. I was just watching MasterChef. Is it MasterChef
Yes.
with Gordon Ramsay? And the
Yes.
episode was, I think, the elimination. One of the challenges. It was just a bunch of different type of spicy peppers, and they were rattling them off. I couldn't tell you. I just know like jalapeno, banana, habanero. Hungarian. I think a Hungarian pepper is spicy.
That's a new one to me.
Yeah, they got
I used to love hot stuff, not so much anymore. It doesn't love me back.
Yeah, Scott says yes, jalapeno pepper and the pizza with extra pineapple.
Yes,
Okay.
extra pineapple.
I'll have to try that.
So that sounds
Could be
horrifying to
interesting.
me.
Sweet and spicy.
Yeah. Throw
Trudy,
some pepperoni on there, a little extra cheese. you know.
Okay.
now Trudy, you might not know this because it's been a while since you've been here, but I personally feel, while I'm not myself a religious man, I feel that pineapple on pizza is a sin against God.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, see,
One of those
pineapple.
moments where it's good to be me.
I only like pineapple certain ways. Like I like it grilled, and then I also like it on
You can
pizza.
grill pineapple?
Oh yeah, you can grill anything.
Oh my
Really?
gosh.
You can put anything on a grill.
Oh my god.
Grilled veggies are
Stick it on a
awesome.
kebab. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I
So
don't
good.
I don't believe in cooking vegetables.
I like raw vegetables. You eat your carrots raw?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
won't.
Oh yeah.
He won't
Onions?
eat. No, he won't eat onions.
I don't like I don't like onions. But just generally, I don't know what the point is of cooking vegetables. Like to me that when they're raw, they have the most flavor. And they I think, especially carrots. Like cooked carrots baffle me. Like whose idea was it to take a delicious crispy carrot and say, "You know what? Not only do I want to remove all the nutrients from this carrot, but all the flavor as well. I need to take this delicious crispy carrot and make it into something where it's almost like you're eating water, where it has no flavor." And I just don't, I don't understand it.
You got to put some butter and brown sugar in the pan with it.
Really?
And then get a nice little
I'd rather
brownage on it, and then it's like candy, carrot candy.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
Our
But
friend-
I eat it raw too. That's good.
Yeah, raw is best.
But
I
I
think.
figure, like, people who have sensitive teeth.
Yeah.
When you cook the veggies, it's good for them. You know?
Okay, that makes sense. That
I
makes
like
sense.
a nice, a nice summer squash and zucchini steamed.
Oh,
Yes. Come on.
Or you throw it in the oven. You know what's really good? Steamed, and Kenny got me hooked on it. Cauliflower. Like you just steam a head of cauliflower, and then I don't know what it is about it.
I couldn't get that into him.
It's so
no, it's not
good.
gonna
There's
happen.
like a slight sweetness
Matt
to
won't
it.
touch it.
Our friend,
No cauliflower?
No, he won't do it.
Our friend Ron is on the line. He likes to put hot dogs in his belly button. Hi, Ron. It's true.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Jenny, welcome back from your trip.
Thanks.
You guys, welcome back from a long weekend.
Thank you.
And this is the first time I get to see Trudy. I heard the name a zillion times, but this is the infamous Trudy. So
yes,
Yes.
pretty cool.
Thanks for calling in.
Yes.
And
Anything else?
that's all. I'm just listening and wanted to say hi and welcome back, everybody. And
All right, Ron.
nice to meet you through the phone, Trudy.
Yes, you as well, Ron. Thanks, man.
All right, Ron. Thank you for the call. We
All right.
appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
See you Thursday.
Bye-bye. Very good. Very good. By the way, our friend Miriam Banish is in the Facebook live chat. She says veggies are hard to digest for some of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And by the way, Scott Robinson says, welcome back, Trudy, and Semper Fi.
Oh, Semper Fi. Thank you.
Yes, yes. You were in the Marines. We did talk about that one time on the show.
I know. That was probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
Or even more.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
You know what?
Pre-COVID.
The COVID caused
Pre-COVID.
among so many other things this weird time distortion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
everything seems like
Weird.
not as long ago as it actually was.
Right.
It's-
Like, I'm thinking in my mind maybe 2 years, but
Right.
the reality, like you said, could be even
It's
further.
pre-COVID that
maybe
you
like
were
4 or
on.
5.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
But it
you were
doesn't-
on pre-COVID.
But it doesn't seem
Wow.
it doesn't seem like it. It's very strange. Tom Blanchard says cooked cabbage smells like flatulence.
That's true.
I agree. Now,
Yes, but it's so good.
It is with corned beef.
oh no,
and
see,
potatoes and some
No.
red wine vinegar.
see, corned beef I maintain is the food of Satan.
Oh no.
And I'm Irish. I should like it. I think corned beef.
Need corned
I
beef.
think corned beef is so disgusting because it's like it's all stringy. It's like meat that's been pre-chewed. Why would you want to eat
no,
that?
it's not pre-chewed.
Yes, well, it's like that though. It's not, why would you want to eat anything stringy and
How would you know what pre-chewed food tastes like?
because
Maddie?
it's stringy. It's gross. Ooh, who wants to eat something stringy?
It's delicious.
And it fries down so nicely as well. Just got that.
Oh,
As long as
It
you
might
don't
be
get
an
too much
acquired
fat.
taste.
You got to pull off some of the fat
oh,
sometimes.
And you don't
the
have to
fat.
use
Yeah.
as much salt either. Well,
Oh.
if
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
cooking
it's
with it, I
good
don't
enough
use
in
salt.
it. Yeah, you don't need to add any.
Oh, just
sodium.
the smell of it. Oh, it's so. And I should like it. I mean,
Big
you know,
piece of
but
cabbage to go with it.
No, I
Or
don't like
rolled in the cabbage.
Oh.
Yeah. And then with the cabbage, right? If you
You could put
boil
some
it and
peanut
then
butter-
fry it
not
down.
Peanut butter,
Yeah.
mustard.
With,
Oh, I'm
with
gonna-
butter or oil, and then you get a nice brown on there, and it has a nice.
I'm gonna vomit
pan
live
fry.
on the air.
Yeah.
which could be good for ratings. Is it sweeps week? When is that?
Your ratings will go through the roof
Through the roof. Yes, yes,
if you have comeuppance the wrong way.
yes. Well, we do love the, of course, the great food at the Hop Knot, the pretzels and all that, and the what was I'm trying to remember what Dan got us one night for on Retro
Oreos.
Spectrum Radio. Yeah, it was those. Yeah, those were really good. Yeah,
I haven't had them in a long
on a
time.
Right,
Friday
and you
night.
hit
Yeah.
them with the confection sugar on top. It's like
Yep.
Dip them in some Nutella.
Yep. Yeah.
Every bit of that not good for me wonderfulness.
But
Yes.
you don't
I'm a
even
sucker for an Oreo.
to me you don't even need the Nutella.
Double
Is it
stuff.
Nutella? Is that am I saying
Yeah.
that right? Because like
The maple's good too.
like the night that Dan brought them, like I didn't even like when I eat them, I don't even dip them. I just eat them. Like you don't even
Yeah.
like they're so good. You don't even need to dip them.
I try
true.
to eat them right when they come right out. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
still
yeah.
moist in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like a nice.
See, can we go break in and get us some deep fried
That's right.
Oreos?
That's right. It's Monday. Y'all are closed.
Yeah, they're closed on
Yes.
Monday.
Yes.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yes, yes.
603-250-6007 is the number if you'd like to join us. 603-250-6007. The studio line is open. Jenny is here, of course, and we have Trudy here on the couch. You've heard her many times in the commercial for, we could update it, but why?
Yeah,
it's legendary.
Why mess with a masterpiece?
Does anyone ever actually say to you, tell us more, Trudy? Or
Eazy-E, I think he was
Easy G. Yes.
He was the only one who did it. He caught me one time over at Market Basket on South Willow.
Yeah.
I'm walking one way, and I hear something, and I turn around, and he's like, "Tell me more." It's like,
that's awesome.
Oh wow.
You got me. That's a good one.
Well, there you go. Are you keeping up with politics and everything, or?
Kind of, sorta.
Yeah.
I think because we're going into election season, so I know things are gonna be crazy. What I do enjoy is listening to the radio, because the radio ads, they're fascinating. How much indoctrination and information can be passed in 30 seconds,
sure,
right? And then when you repeat it, there's a cadence to each one, right? And it's just, oh man, it's very powerful, fascinating, but scary all at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to kind of stay so I sound a little bit educated and I understand what's going on, but at the same time, I think I'm actively trying to keep a little bit distant, because I know I can get a little carried away.
That's the right show for it.
That's what I love about the show too, though, is that people, I feel like a lot of your listeners, all of us have different political views, but we're also a group of people who enjoy talking about that.
Yeah.
And hearing other people's views.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to do that with this show, I mean, I try to do something that's different than because most political talk radio is conservative, and conservatives really dominate political talk.
Yes, there was a great podcast that touched upon the history of the evolution of conservative talk radio.
Yeah,
I will have to find the link. It was on NHPR. It must have been like in March or April, and I cannot recall what the podcast was. Oh no, it might be the one that's on at 2 p.m. The Spanish one. But it was fascinating.
Really?
The history and how popular it became and why it became so popular.
Yeah.
And then what it is now, which is, a really powerful political tool.
Oh, yeah. There's a great book. The author's name escapes me, Right of the Dial. And but that came out like 20 years ago at least. But it also chronicles the rise of conservative talk radio. And a lot of people credit that with being what saved AM radio. Because, I've talked on the show about, like, I remember being a kid and hearing adults talking about how, AM radio's on its way out, and, it's got that annoying whistle, and it's who listens to AM radio except for, baseball games and, news, and, FM is so much better, which it is, of course. But then, so everyone assumed AM radio was going away. And then conservative political talks, shows like Rush Limbaugh and others, found a home on AM radio, and it kind of exploded. It hasn't ever been as big as FM, but it really kind of regained its prominence, and now it might be back on the ropes because these car manufacturers with their electric vehicles, they're not putting AM radios, or at least they plan to not put AM radios in the new cars, only FM, and of course satellite. And
wow,
yeah,
that sounds so weird to me right now, because I'm so used to having access to AM and FM.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And then now we're moving into the new technology of
cars. But it's not the first time we thought AM was going away. So maybe it's not. But then there's I remember this was like maybe 6 months ago. I saw online Sean Hannity on his show had done a segment with Mark Levin where they were complaining about how they think it's a conspiracy, because if you're going to buy an electric vehicle, then you're probably a liberal, because why else would you want an electric vehicle? So it's probably, liberals trying to end conservative talk radio by just buying electric vehicles without AM radio in them.
That is such a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about conspiracy theories is that you can like take it anywhere, right? But if you somehow manage to make logic out of something so ridiculous, people will be like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
Right,
Yeah,
right.
The liberals are definitely taking over the world because they're buying electric vehicles, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But we'll see where it. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry says in the chat, I read an article not too long ago that they can't get rid of AM radio because if anything happens to satellites, AM is the only way they could broadcast emergency signals. Yeah, that's true. And there's a bipartisan effort in Congress, I know, to keep AM. One of them you mentioned earlier, Senator Ed Markey.
Yes,
he's part of that, and there's I forget who the Republican is he's working with directly on that, but yeah, so there is an effort to keep AM radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But the point being, so we try to do something here that's different, and I'm kind of center left myself, but we have Republicans on. We had
I think that's we were talking about. We touched on that a little bit earlier about being able to have those conversations from wherever somebody's at.
Yeah. Yes.
And having, then that's been something I've actually enjoyed with what I'm doing with healthcare, is because it is one of those topics that does cross lines, that isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. It is a human issue. Everybody's family's got a horror story about insurance companies denying care or incredibly horrible co-pays. Our medical system needs a massive, we got to start looking at it from a different lens. And those conversations are where you start.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know where people are at, what their concerns are, what's bothering them, and then work from there. And I honestly and truly believe that we could have a way better healthcare system. We could do a lot better in a lot of systems. If we could get back to having those kind of conversations, it feels like we don't have them anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to find a space that facilitates.
Right. I feel like we're kind of
that.
unique in that regard, because we do have people on from both sides, and we do give them a fair chance to tout their case. And, it's no gotcha thing going on here. But it seems like a lot of what's out there is so divisive, especially like, I'm sorry, Fox News. Everything's angry. I watch it. I want to know what everybody's saying.
Right, exactly. And that's how you get a better view of, what's going on in the country.
I miss Ted Koppel. I miss reporters giving you the facts and laying it out and not trying to tout a fire. I feel like Fox is constantly trying to stoke fires and get people angry because they yell a lot and they use a lot of divisive language. I'm not, they didn't used to be quite that way. That used to be the fringe. And now that's the reality of everything on that particular station.
Miriam said in the chat, I get so worn out from politics, but what I love about this show is the balance of opinions, even when some opinions aggravate me. Yeah, we try. I mean, I enjoy talking to people with whom I disagree. I often refer to my friend Eric Pilcher, who he does our classic film reviews for us on Fridays, but I do a weekly segment with him on Wednesday, and I always refer to him as my favorite conservative. And what I like about Eric is it's very easy to our politics are very different, although we find common ground on some things too. But the things we find common ground on are usually we dislike a lot of the same people, like some of the conservative personalities that you see online. He and I both dislike for the same reasons, because he's not afraid to call BS on people he thinks are dishonest or just bad people like Steven Crowder or Candace Owens, or, he's not afraid to criticize them. But it's very easy to have a conversation with him, even when we vehemently disagree on something, as we do on some issues, because the way I approach it is I've always tried to kind of just take my ego out of it, because I think part of the problem with how people discuss politics and why people get worked up and they get angry and they kind of talk past each other, they're not actually listening to each other, is because their egos are invested in it. A lot of political discourse, it's not about me explaining to you why I think you're wrong. It's about, I have to prove that you're wrong, or I have to convince myself of why you're wrong or hit you with talking points. And I prefer, to just kind of take my ego out of it and, let's just have a conversation about it and I'll try to actually empathize with the person I'm talking to try to understand, because I'm naturally curious about that anyway. I'm always curious about not just what people think, but why they think that.
Yeah.
I have a natural curiosity with that, which I think most people lack, because most people are just, they're so invested in proving you wrong instead of not even being right. They just want to prove that you're wrong.
Or that you're not at their level.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that perception that because you're not at their level, it's not that you're lesser, but there's this weird tone that, you're not as much as whatever.
Yeah.
And
it becomes a contest.
Yes. And it makes it very hard because then the emotions keep rising.
Yeah.
And that's something I know I have to work on, because it's, especially with conservatives now. Yes, I would probably consider myself a progressive, and to a conservative, I'm probably like progressive, then whatever the next level is, right?
Right.
Of extreme far left. But with conservatism, I've just noticed that there's certain patterns in the talking points that are brought up by conservatives.
Yeah.
And, once you pick up on these patterns, you're like, wait a minute. Okay, this is weird, because now I'm seeing that it's more than just one person.
Right.
It's not necessarily some fringe opinion. This is really moving its way through a big circle of Americans. And I have to keep my emotions in check, so I remember that to listen.
Right.
To find that commonality, because at the end of the day, the main commonality is that we're human beings.
Right.
So, right there, we have at least one thing
Right,
that
exactly.
we can connect in. But then keeping the space open so we can have conversations.
Yeah.
I think
Well, yeah, like
people don't have patience for it anymore either.
Right. Well, you mentioned listening, and that's the thing too. People don't, rather than listening, I think most people, rather than listening to the other person, they're only half listening while the other half of their brain is formulating their next talking point that they're going to spit out.
Right. Like they're not in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They've already made up their mind what they are going to say, no matter what you say. And there's no way they're going to redirect.
They're not even hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're just totally concentrating on, what am I going to get you with?
Yeah.
This is what I'm coming up, the gotcha comment or something to prove you wrong, but it's not actually a real response.
Right.
And that's so sad, because it's missing out on so much.
Yeah.
If we could just actually listen to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that would really, the idea of connection, right? Like, we can connect on so many levels, right? If people didn't know who we were, you could say, oh, white, brown. But then you get to know us and you can see that there's more than that, right? We connect through, we live in this general area. We hang out at the Hop Knot, right? I've cooked you guys food before. You've patroned places that my family owns, so there's so many more connections.
Right.
I am a woman. You are a woman. You're a man.
We've protested together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And
Yeah.
we're
Women's
parents.
rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a mom. I'm a mom.
Yep.
Like, you have curly hair. I have curly hair. There's so many things we can relate on, but it's like these talking points, it's just talking points that kind of drive us away, because we don't like when people challenge us. Like you said, it's our ego.
Yeah.
Challenging our
It's like when you
ego.
talk about health care, somebody on the other side will be quick to say, I don't want to pay for somebody else's care. I don't think that's, but when you actually sit down and have those conversations, real conversations about health care, they've got it in their family too, that a certain medication was denied because of the cost, or that they were forced to go 2 towns over for their PT because the local one wasn't in network. Like, everybody's families have gone through these things that we're accepting the abnormal as normal.
Yeah, and it kind of goes against, right, humanity. We couldn't have gotten to 2023 without working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to get to 2024.
But like you said, with the medical, I just did this hike in support of Alzheimer's caregivers. And
oh, wow.
As we're doing our hikes and going from town to town, we always bumped and started talking with one person who was like yes, my father or my uncle, someone in their life, they have been directly impacted by that disease. And so it's, it's there. There's connections.
Yeah.
We just got to keep our open heart, open mind, which sounds incredibly cheesy, but it's
But it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I see it as a sign of emotional growth in someone when they can hold space and actually hear the other side and then have a real conversation about it.
Yeah.
We have a lot more in common than we have uncommon when we get down to just average day, everyday Joes. You get work, you get money, you got bills, you got kids. I mean, y'all go through healthcare problems, y'all go through car problems. We all have that. And these wonks on TV get everybody riled up. And some of these other folks, we could go through a list that rile people up with their ideals that really don't say anything. It's just some talking point that's got no substance. It's just another reason to hate somebody else. And you get so wrapped up into that, they don't actually get to the meat and potatoes that's really driving the issue. Because if they did, they'd find themselves there. Because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's us who pay our premiums that don't get the health care back. And we're also the ones delivering the health care, mind you.
Yeah.
It's the mom who works 3 jobs trying to take care of her kid and gets slammed by somebody who has a talking point. Oh, it's because you're not married, or how can you leave your child for that many hours? Like, well, I need to feed him, keep a roof over his head. It's those talking points that blind us to the reality of what life is really like. And when you really look at it, we're all the same, right? We all have cancers in our family. We all have mental health issues in our families. We all have people who have eyeglasses, whatever it is. We all have the same crap to deal with.
Yeah.
Like everybody who's listening to me who has eyeglasses, how much did you have to spend for your last pair?
Right, yeah. And eyeglasses are expensive.
Right? Or when you want to get
costly.
your car taken care of, they change a different law and you don't know. It's like we all have the same annoyances, the same issues. And we used to listen to each other more, I think. I think we used to. Pre-Trump, I'll say it. Pre-Trump, I think there was more discussion, less divisiveness. Now it's all about gotchas and to show why I'm not you, oh, I hate you, than it is about actually doing for the greater good, which was what we were supposedly electing these people to do.
Yeah, I would agree with you definitely on the pre-Trump and then now, because it's definitely, the country has made a shift. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, no, Trump made it cool to be crass and
or to
mean,
question,
bully,
and it's one thing to be inquisitive and question and challenge, right? I think in a free country like we are in, that we still need a lot of work. We should most definitely, if you are not challenging the status quo, then you're too comfy.
Yeah,
and,
agreed.
And in order for us to progress, we have to push those lines and we have to create those boundaries. And even though I don't consider myself a conservative, right? The conservative movement, they're doing the same thing. They're pushing boundaries and they're pushing progress. It might not be in a direction that I like or appreciate or think is correct.
Right.
But, I still have to be right there and paying attention because that means I have to push my boundaries to progress as well, right? So that we don't lose this fight of darkness and lightness, which is kind of what it is. I was watching Harry Potter the other day. So
gotcha.
yeah.
I got you. Well, yeah, and that perspective goes to both sides, right?
Yeah.
We each have our demons and our angels, if you will, of what we wish or hope could happen. And we beat each other up so much for not listening anymore. Like Reagan always talked about, Reagan to be a Reagan Republican was to be a good Republican back in the day. And Reagan had the 13th commandment, thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican. Like that was a no-no. You don't speak against somebody else. You have those matters discussed in private, not in public. These coming to the table and working things out. This was how government is supposed to exist, right? This is what we elect you for. But that's not what we have today. We had it pre-Trump. But there's a whole new breed of whatever Republican is now. And there's a whole lot of people just like me that left the party. Maybe not like me who got pushed. I've been a Democrat now, registered Democrat for years now. But we used to have those things that used to be the what we heard about, and now it's just, I don't even know how to begin to get us back to that because it's so damaged now. It's cool to talk ill of another Republican or another. It's like that you're on the good team if you're talking bad about somebody else in your own party now.
Like who can get the best burn on Twitter?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Hashtag got you, sucker.
Well, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, and
she is a
help
trip,
me here.
yo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
goodness.
Bobart.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, this video of them on the floor fighting, and they're fighting over who gets to be the lead person to introduce articles of impeachment against Biden. And Green calls Bobart a little B.
On the floor?
Oh, yeah, right on the floor.
What?
Right on the floor. That's part of the reason why she got booted out of the Freedom Caucus was because she called Bobart a little B. Right on the floor. Yeah. That didn't used to happen either. Like, people didn't talk that way on the House floor, but, now it's anything goes. Let's just have a brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Decorum. The decorum.
What happened to decorum?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's gone.
That's it's completely, because decorum also meant being respectful and treating each other with respect. You respect another representative or another senator, you give equal time and you listen to and you work things out. These guys are just, on the other hand, they keep killing good stuff that stinks because they can't pass it. So, but then we can't get anywhere. It's like we're stuck in limbo with a bunch of schoolyard bullies beating on each other, waiting to see who's going to come out on top. That's what it feels like.
And I was thinking the other day too, how, right. So now I've seen a wave of the people running for the Republican candidacy. I've seen their commercials. I haven't seen any from any Democratic candidates yet. And
you won't. I don't think you will.
Yeah, that's what I found interesting too, because some of these new guys running for the ticket, they're slick. They got really slick messaging, and now they know how to play both sides, right? So they know how to play the center Democrat. They know exactly what buttons to push to get them to come to vote for them as a Republican, but they also know how to keep the voters that they have right now, right? So they throw in a little bit of progress, but not too much because they don't want to be too liberal.
Right.
But then they definitely it's an onslaught of just, the negative Republican Party talking points that have permeated and festered for too long. And we're even at this point, it's surprising that some of their talking points they bring up.
There's a lot of anti-trans stuff.
Yeah.
That seems to be the flavor of the day.
We're going backwards in time now. Now we're all about banning books, banning people. We banned Anne Frank. The
Which
Diary
blows
of
my
Anne
mind.
Frank. Do you know why they banned it?
I can only imagine.
Sexuality.
You're talking
It's
about
pornography.
In Florida.
Pornography. Anne Frank is pornography in Florida.
Florida,
I can't make
what
this
a
up.
wild state.
There's a state,
What
and there's a
wild
lot of people
state.
that are starting to leave, and I think a lot more are going to because if you live there and you're in the you're gay or you're lesbian or you're trans, it's not safe for you anymore. They're passing all these anti-laws.
And when I think about it, I'm trying to think to myself, okay, by passing these laws, they're not making the country better or stronger. They're literally and they're physically and legally trying to disenfranchise a group of people.
Anybody
a group
who
of
isn't a
human
right-wing Christian.
And it is.
That's what it is.
And to me, I still cannot comprehend how American voters can vote in support of politicians who tout this kind of violence, because that's what it is. It is violence against a very specific group of people. And historically, we have seen this time and time again. And here we are in 2023, and we're allowing it to happen again. Why? Because Trump said, oh, F this, F that. I'm this, I'm smart, I'm super smart. Like, believe me. And now here we are.
Although the interesting irony about that, and we got to wrap up in a minute, but the interesting irony about that is I don't think, I was trying to think, actually it was earlier today, I was trying to think of when I've heard Trump get really anti-LGBTQ, and I couldn't think of an instance. I mean, I think he's empowered a lot of the meanness.
Yeah.
But I think the anti-trans culture war stuff is being largely driven by DeSantis, who seems like he's obsessed with it.
And the uber right-wing Christian conservative who wants to see their beliefs made into law. That's a huge push of this. That's why you've got Anne Frank being considered pornography. That's coming from the Christian right, the uber Christian right that's trying to push their agenda. And you know what's crazy? I watched some YouTube videos recently from like 1964, 1965, and there were people talking about desegregation. The same language that you're going to hear today getting used to talk about people who are gay or transgendered. It's the same language, not in our neighborhood. You know, this.
We gotta wrap up. By the way, hello to Dead Reckoning in the chat, who says, what's up? Hope all is well. We are still out here on tour, killing it. Excellent. Dead Reckoning, yeah, they were on the show not too long ago. It was a lot of fun. Trudy, before we run out of time, I wish we had more time. It's a great discussion, but I want to make sure, please plug the farmers market.
Yes, so Thursdays throughout the month of July from 4 to 7 p.m. at Shaheen Basquiat Park here in Manchester. We have a farmer's market, and we're trying to build it up. So if you have anything that you would like to sell, if you're an artist or you, I can't even think off the top of my head, or you have produce, come on down. You can table for free. We have the concession stand open. What's better than a hamburger and french fries fried at a concession stand at a baseball park? And if you have kids, the splash pad is open, so, if it's hot out and it's not raining, that'll be going.
Yeah.
Nice green space. We're going to have some music. Come hang out, enjoy the weather, enjoy the park, enjoy Manch Vegas.
Yes. Excellent.
Enjoy our city.
And don't forget to enjoy the Hop Knot as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much to everybody who comes out and supports the Hop Knot.
Yeah.
And everybody who comes out and supports Manchester and anything that goes on in here. It's supporting local businesses.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Trudy, for
and
being.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
As well. I love it.
Absolutely wonderful. You're always welcome. And Jenny, do you want to plug your?
You can keep tabs on me at jenncoffey.com, JENNCOFFEY.com, or you can follow me on Facebook if you like. I'll be sharing my journey as we go. Looks like I might be heading back to D.C.
All right.
Fight the power.
Yes. And if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And that's it for us for now. Be back bright and early, 7 a.m. for the morning show with Peter White. And we're out. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.